Since 2003, there has been a terrible war in Sudan, specifically Darfur, which is in the west part of Sudan. Major trouble began when two rebel groups, the Sudan Liberation Army and the Justice Equality Movement, tried to equalize power and enhance the economic case for people in Sudan. Ahmed Yusuf is the eldest child of a six-member family. He ran a sewing business that he did to take care of his family. Ahmed and his family are threatened by the war, and their only chance of survival is to flee to nearby Chad. Him and his family successfully crossed the border after a long and tiring journey. Ahmed is sheltered in the camp for 5 months. Eventually, he leaves with a visa to the United States, but leaves behind his whole family. It was very tough adapting for Ahmed. He just moved to an entirely different new continent and had to go through a lot of cultural and language barriers. He quickly learned the English language, but on top of that, his family's economic burden was all on his shoulders. Ahmed quickly had to find a job and went for an interview for Uber.
Yes, sir. Do you want some water?
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Good evening, Ahmed. Are you ready for your questions?
I'm ready.
Okay. Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Sudan, Darfur,
What is the size of your family?
with my father and mother. We're 6.
What was your occupation in your homeland and how much did you earn?
I used to own or run a sewing business, and I earned, I think, last year $180, about $180.
And what were your living conditions?
It was very poor, to be honest, but compared to the other Sudani people, I think it was above average.
What are the financial, political, and social conditions in your homeland?
Financially, it was horrible compared to Boston. Politically, because of the war, our own government was trying to kill us and was killing us, and it was just, they were all bad.
What is the background behind why your family had to or decided to move?
To be honest, it's pretty self-explanatory. We were gonna die if we stayed.
So was your move voluntary or involuntary?
It was involuntary. I didn't have the choice. It was for my life.
Was your move legal or illegal?
I'm pretty sure if it was illegal, I wouldn't tell you. No, but when I moved from Sudan to Chad, it was illegal because we passed the border without them checking on us. But I had to do it for my life, so I think it can be justified. But when I moved from Chad to America, we did all the process, the visa, everything, and they did it for us, so it was legal.
Okay. Were there any non-profit governmental organizations that helped organize your move?
The refugee camp I was in was made by the UN and the non-for-profit organization, and yeah, they assisted me and my family with transferring here to Boston.
What was it like where you moved?
To Boston or?
To Boston,
To be honest, of course it's better because I can live freely now. I don't have to worry about dying. But the problem is it's hard adapting because only me from my whole family transferred here, and there's a lot of fellow Sudani immigrants, but they all live far away from me. So it's hard with the language barrier. Now I improved my language since then, but still it was hard adapting.
What is your occupation in your new home, and how does it compare to your old occupation?
So here in Boston, I'm a Uber driver. I work for Uber. I earn more money, technically, because I earn more money. But when I worked in the when I ran the sewing organization, I made less. But compared to the other Sudani people, it was a lot. So I was fine with it. But here, I earn less compared to the average American. So it's hard to find food and to pay my rent, and yeah.
Have there been any language, cultural, physical barriers to get situated and finding an occupation?
Yeah, like I said, it was very hard adapting because of the language barrier and cultural. I never traveled before that in my life, so it was very hard. And in the job interview, I could barely speak English back then, but it's better now.
Do you stay in touch with your family in your homeland?
Yeah, I send them money every month because I'm supposed to be the breadwinner for the family, and that's why they picked me to go to the US. And I try to communicate them using Skype or these things or anything they can have in the refugee camp. So yeah, I talk to them often.
Okay. What are some of the obstacles that you face as an immigrant?
First of all, going from Sudan to the US, obviously we had to get a lot of things for the visa, and it took a lot of time. So that was the first barrier, was a political barrier. And then there were social barriers with the language and the culture. And also physically, I'm in a different continent in America, and I had to pass the Atlantic Ocean, and it's not an easy task.
How have your children adjusted to the move?
I don't have any children.
Are there any laws that threaten your ability to stay where you are?
Thankfully, no, because I'm a legal immigrant, so yeah.
How has your lifestyle changed since your move?
Now I'm more exposed to the internet because we didn't really have internet back then, and the whole American culture is very different from the Sudani culture.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.